What's up everyone, Safe on Talk, and we are back with another farming video and farming strategy, which is how I farmed my first Mageblood. Now, it was a 3-flask Mageblood, but it was still, I think, 230 divine, so I think it still stands that this is an amazing starting strategy for people. Now, not only is this a great strategy, but it is great for new players, because you do not need to use any sextances, no compasses, no juicing, no scarabs. You can do this on white maps, yellow maps, red maps. There will be slight changes with white maps on yellow maps that we will go over, but other than that, this is a great starting strategy. Now, every season I seem to end up doing some variation of this strategy, and it's amazing every time. I am doing it currently right now. I'm going between this and Sanctum, trading off whenever I get bored, which is great because you have some variation in your life, have a couple different farming strategies to really help you push through that kind of low when you start really grinding in POE at later levels. So what does our atlas look like? We are going to be using Delirium to reroll Delirium orbs. We are going to be doing essences. I know I've probably done 3 or 4 videos this season talking about essences. They're still super strong. Their amount they drop does not change with if it's a white, yellow, or red tier map. So you can do essences pretty much anywhere as long as you have the nodes. This is going to be steady profit the entire time. So we got Delirium for the Delirium orbs and the general drops. We have essences for essences. We have a map sustain, because the most annoying thing in this game, or pretty damn close, is running out of maps. You don't want to buy them. It's just super frustrating. So we take a lot of 2% chance for one monster in each map to drop an additional connected map. So we'll get the Delirium over here. Now, I take Searing Exarch nodes. This only works if you have the Searing Exarch influence on the map, which is this right here. When you click this button, if you do not have it, you have to follow the Searing Exarch quest line until you fight her and unlock it. At the end of the game, you will see this. Follow what it says to do, beat her, etc. That is how you get it. Altars drop. You are going to get a lot of currency from picking the altars that pop up that give the best rewards. Now, not only this, but we take the 10% chance to award double progress towards encountering the Searing Exarch. Every time you pop an altar or pop a red flash, that's how you know the Exarch has popped. You will notice it. It's very choreographed. You'll kill a group of monsters, you'll just see this big red wave. But every time that happens, you will get a notch on this circle. 28 notches, you will get an invitation that is worth over a divine. Right now, as I'm making this, it is worth 1.1 to 1.2 divines just for this. And having that 10% is going to make it so that it takes maybe 24 to 25 maps instead of the 28. It can take more, it can take less, depending on your luck. All in all, this is great if you're running tier 14 or higher maps, because that is an invaluable amount of currency. What maps are we running? Well, this comes as no surprise to anyone, but I am ping-ponging between Beach and Strand. The two maps you can ping-pong between that I think are contestants for the best possible ones this league are between Strand and Beach, depending on what strategy you're doing. Obviously, if you're doing Magic Find or something, you want to do something like Cemetery or Crimson Temple, because they could drop div cards that are worth a lot. But for any strategy that uses Delirium, Strand and Beach are king. How do we target farm only on these maps? Well, we use a combination of favorite slots. How you unlock these will be shown once you hover over. For example, I haven't killed Cirrus yet, and I probably won't, because I don't care. He can kiss my ass. And on a side note, I didn't put Do Not Disturb, and you could see my invitations are selling for 1.2, 2.4 for 2. I forgot I had these. I'm not going to do this trade. I'm going to put DND on, but that was probably perfect timing for this video. So where was I? The map sustain. You are going to want favorite slots, because whatever you put in these slots is going to dramatically increase which ones drop. So you put some on Beach. I put more on Strand. You can do it evenly, it doesn't matter. I prefer getting more Strand maps because Strand is better for Delirium. You can get 7 stacks of Delirium very easy on Strand. You can get 6 stacks of delirium on beach very easily. You can get 7 if you have a high pack quantity size on your maps. You pretty much need to use a sextant. So in other words, we're going to be ignoring that. We're going to be shooting for 6 on beach, 7 on strand. And once you put these, so you're ping-ponging between these, the connected maps on your Atlas passive tree, 2% chance for 1 monster drop additional connected map, it is going to want to drop either, if you're on beach, it's going to want to drop bog, it's going to want to drop arena, or something like that. But because you have strand so much in your favored, the vast majority of the time when it drops that connected map, it is going to be strand. Vice versa, when you run strand and you have beach favored, it is going to want to drop beach. So you go back and forth that way to sustain maps. And trust me, it looks like a lot of points wasted by putting it on connected maps and certain duplication nodes for chance for maps to be duplicated. But it is so worth it to never have to worry about getting maps. You just always have enough, you keep running them. Now, a strategy that I used that I liked a lot is I would put on Wandering Path, which doubles all these small passive nodes. So all these connected, drop an additional connected map. Those now become 4. And then notable passives like this, you could see it's not listing anything because they don't work anymore. But all of these are doubled. And this is great because with this tree, I had 52% chance for 1 monster drop connected map. This goes up to 100%, which means as long as you're generally clearing the map, you will always get a connected map to drop. So what I have been doing is I will put on singular focus and run beach because I don't care so much about the delirium on that map. And again, this is just what I'm doing. You don't have to. You can never use Wandering Path, but this is just what I've been doing and I like it a little bit better. I put on Wandering Path for beach to guarantee I get a bunch of strand maps. Then I take it off and I run the strand maps because I can get 7 stacks of delirium. And again, I just get so many strand maps that it is ridiculous. But sorry, that's kind of a side note. Again, you don't have to do that. That's what I've been doing because I would rather run strand much more, and beach is still great, but it's not as good as strand for delirium. A final thing about the Atlas passive tree, I do take the nodes where you can't get certain things, like for example, this is Legion. We have a 2% chance to contain other content. So I put all of the points into the nodes to make sure I get a delirium as much as possible. Now, I know this is controversial because people say these are practically worthless. You can spend these points somewhere else. And I agree that it sometimes is not the best, but just for an incredibly non-overthinking strategy, I just want delirium as often as possible without having to buy the compass to force it every time. And lastly, yes, we're going to be re-rolling delirium orbs. So you're saying, why aren't you taking any harvest? I will get to my reasoning behind me not taking harvest or doing harvest, even though you need the life force to re-roll the delirium orbs. If your strand and beach are too low tier because you don't have all 4 watchstones, because the watchstones, when you get them, they drop from bosses, they drop from the Maven, Eater of Worlds, Searing Exarch, and the Elder or Shaper. Elder or Shaper? The Elder. These will upgrade your map tiers so they only drop at a certain threshold. If you take a couple of these out, you can see Strand and Beach are down to tier 9. Now, this strategy still works at those tiers, but obviously if you can do higher tiers to get the Searing Exarch rewards, that is very helpful. So if you need to buy a carry or farm the invitations, have a friend carry you and kill the boss, the watchstones are important, but they are not necessary. Do not freak out or click off if you don't have the watchstones. It's kind of a big deal, but not nearly enough. You are going to get plenty of currency to be able to make your build stronger, and then you'll be able to beat the hell out of these bosses yourself if you want to. When you're running these maps, you're going to want to use this as long as you have, some chaos to back it up. It is worth it. You will make more than 2 chaos in the run with the 2 additional essences, so I always use the essence craft when I do these. We are now in a strand map. I will show you how you run this with the delirium aspect of it. When there is a mirror, when you hit the mirror, stand back here. Do not go forward and start killing things until the delirium monsters start spawning, or it will not give you progress. So just calm your tizzies, wait for them to spawn, and now you can go and start clearing the map. When you see an essence, if it has 1, 2, or 3, usually that essence monster isn't going to be too difficult. It does not have the MEDS essences we will talk about in a little bit. You can do this on the way. If it's an especially hard one, I suggest putting down a town portal. This one isn't too difficult, but I put down a town portal, so if you do die, you are not back here and you lose your delirium because you're caught in the fog and the delirium ends. But if it's an easy one, you can do it while you're just kind of going, pick up the essences, and go on your way. By the time you get to the boss door, you want to be at either 6 stacks or close to 6 stacks. And the reason for this is the monsters around the boss will put you to 6 stacks, and then when you kill the boss, your map rewards, the delirium rewards, go up 1, so it will go to 7. So that's why it is important to clear enough to where by the time you get to the boss, and this is not hard, 95% of the time this will happen. Every once in a while it'll be a little low, say maybe 60, 70, 75%. You want to go back a little bit, see if you can get it up there. If not, it's not the end of the world, but obviously that one from 6 to 7 is more rewards and it's better. I usually put down a town portal right here. Some stuff pops. It'll get close to 6. There's 6, and then I will kill the bosses. And it puts it to 7. See, I that was a little close, but it's because I stood outside the door and was talking while the delirium fog was catching up. You get the drops. No delirium orbs there. I'd say 50% of the time, especially if you're getting 7 stacks, so maybe even more. 67% of the time, you'll get some delirium orbs. Sometimes get 1, sometimes you'll get 4, and that's how you do it. With the essences, if it is really hard or you're having a hard time killing the essence monsters with delirium monsters around, it is okay. It is not ideal, but it is okay to finish the delirium, kill the boss, and then go back and do the essences that you did not do before. Now with the essences, if it is any sort of purple and it starts with an M, a E, a D, or an S, which is misery, envy, dread, and scorn, you are going to want to hit it with a remnant of corruption. You will get plenty of these because you will have these two for a while. 10% chance to contain a remnant of corruption. Now, when you have a ton of remnant corruption saved up, you can unspec out of these and put them into these, because if an essence is corrupted already, you can't corrupt it yourself, having a chance to upgrade things like the misery, envy, dread, and scorn to the extra high tier essences. Those are the 4 that can upgrade to the essences that are 15 to 25 chaos, I think, right now. So what you would do, and this just for an example, I usually would not use remnant corruption on this. You'd put it on this. You could see it added an essence on there, just a weeping essence of greed. Nothing that special, but those are the situations you want to be using a remnant of corruption on your essences. So you have a delirium orb now, or you have a bunch. What do you do with them? Well, we are going to be using blue life force to reroll these into either a divination one or a scarab one using the Hoarder crafting station. If you don't have one in your hideout, click on the arrow, edit, decorations, type in Hoarder crafting, and it's right there. You could drop it in your base. That is the harvest crafting bench. It is incredibly useful. You should have it in there, whether you're following this strategy or not. So this is the part where a lot of people are saying you don't run harvest. Are you buying the blue life force you need to reroll the delirium orbs? Yes, I am. I buy them for 1 divine at a time for about 7,000 life force. And the reason for that is because harvest is very slow and it is a lot of point investment and it kills our map sustain. I do not like that. Now, if you do not have enough currency to buy some life force, again, you can buy this in bulk on the POE trade by going to the bulk item exchange section, clicking on the blue life force, and if you do not have a ton of currency, you can use chaos orbs. Items I have, chaos orbs, items I want. the blue currency. You can search it this way. This person has, 3,000. If I won that 3,000, 100 chaos. If you do not have enough currency to buy the life force yet, it's fine. Run essences. Do the maps normally with Searing Exarch. Get an invitation. Bam, there's 1.2 divine right there. It will always pay off unless you are incredibly unlucky with your rolls. It's never happened to me. I've been doing this strategy for multiple leagues. I've never bought blue essence and not had it be incredibly beneficial to where I make plenty more than the one divine that I paid for that blue life force before, with rerolling delirium orbs before I run out. Now we go to the Hoarder crafting station. We take the orb, we put it in the keywords I type in DE. It'll show the change of stack delirium orbs to a different one. It's for 30. If you have a stack of 2, it's 60. Stack of 3, it's 90 per roll, etc. So we hit this until we either get a Diviners or a Scarab 1. These are the two ones that are worth the most. This is a Scarab. This is worth 33 chaos. I sell them for 6 for a Divine or 7 for a Divine. Now I have a Delirium stash tab that I bought from the Real Money store. You do not need one. You could put these in any trade tab. I highly suggest you get a trade tab if you don't have one. But I sell these for 7 for a Divine usually, because 6 for a Divine, it can take a little while for the trade to go through right now. And I sell these for 10 for a Divine. Now that's one more than what most people are offering, unless this price changed. Nope. 1 for 9. I go 1 for 10. It sells within 5 minutes. I just get it out of there. These also you can actually sell pretty easily at 2 Divine for 13. That's what I do the other half of the time. I probably should save up more and sell them more in bulk, so I'm not wasting time trading, but I just don't care that much. I just want to get them out there. It's still plenty profitable if I throw an extra orb on there just to do a quick sale. Now, what do you do with the essences? Well, you sell them, and you can sell them in 2 ways. I have an essence tab again that I bought. Very helpful, but not absolutely necessary. I just love it as an upgrade button, so I can upgrade the essences 3-to-1 to upgrade them. If you don't have this upgrade thing, you can sell 3 essences to any vendor, and it will give you the 1 upgraded one back because they upgrade 3-to-1. Now, there are 2 ways to sell these. You can sell these normally by yourself. For example, these essences of greed, these deafening, they are 3 chaos a piece. So you could type in exact price, I want to sell 4. Now, I highly suggest not doing this until you have higher stacks than 4. Just save them up if you're selling them yourself, or you're going to be slowing your mapping down incredibly because you keep going back for trades all the time. But for the sake of this video, let's say I want to sell these for 12 chaos. So what I would do is I would say I want 12 chaos slash for 4 of them. It's always on the outside of what you want. If you want 12 chaos, it's right on the outside, and then you put how many of the item in the middle. I know it's not intuitive, but you get used to it. Just remember, the 2 outside is what you want. I want 12 chaos. Okay, so now it's listed for 3 chaos at a piece, but it will tell the trade site I'm trying to sell all 4 of these at once. The other thing you can do to sell essences, now this is easier, but it requires using the TFT Discord. Some people just don't like doing it. I suggest doing it, but not everyone does. And you go to the TFT bulk selling tool. If you just Google it, you'll find it. It looks like this. You can link your account in the upper right hand corner. Mine's already linked. I'm going to refresh to make sure that it is still connected. It is. And what you do is you select the tab that has the essences in it. Now I know it's this tab for me, and I usually click on high essences because I don't want to sell all the essences, just the 2 rows. It's these 2 rows minus the Remnant of Corruption. Also, these are the high tier essences I was talking about that you can get if you corrupt it. If you corrupt with purple essences, you have a chance of upgrading to these. As you can see, 5 of these is 90 chaos. They sell for 11 for 1 divine. So they're very valuable. That's why I corrupted. But once I click on high essence and have the tab, I select the tab after the ninja price, so 100% of what they say the market value is. I sold some of these last night. 100% didn't work. I went down to 95%, and they sold within a couple minutes. So that was good, but for this video, we'll just keep it at 100. And then you click select tab. It's going to tell me I have 2.6 divines worth of high essence in my stash. So I go to I put in my in-game name, Safe on Talk Ranger. I generate text. I go to the TFT Trade Discord. I go to Ancestors Softcore Bulk. Want to sell essences. I go in here. I click the text that was just copied to my clipboard. Then I go back and I generate an image. Once that's generated, I am going to not open Premiere. That was a really dumb click. It's because they are both purple. That's annoying. I'm actually going to click on the purple Discord icon, go back to the TFT, paste that image, hit enter, and it will sell. It'll put my essences up for sale in the TFT. So you can see this is very active. There are people posting every single minute with essences, and people buy these because when you sell them this way, you are actually losing a little bit of profit selling them in bulk like this. You make more profit selling them alone, so people will just sit in their hideout and either one, sell them themselves and just do a bunch of trades, or they will use a bot, which is probably more likely what people are doing, but who cares? Just give me money. I just want to run maps, play the damn game. As a bonus strategy, you are going to get a lot of white trash maps, and they're not technically trash, but for the sake of us just wanting to run the maps that we want to run, we are going to take them and just run them without the essence. You'll see why in a second. Just to get this progress. You don't have to kill the boss. You just have to pop the altar. So just keep it white. Don't use any of your map currency to change it. Go in, find a pack of mobs, and just kill them until you get the red pop. And I'll show you when it comes up so you know what it looks like. Right there. That red pop is what pops the essence monsters, and that is what gets you the progress on the Exarch. I had 1 notch before, now I have 2. And that can help you fill up the circle quicker and just get you closer to that 1.2 divine invitation. Then once you're done running some of those white maps, or you either run out of trash maps or you just get bored, you can just go back to the maps that you were farming. Also very important, I forgot to mention, if you do not have all the watchstones, I said it's okay. You can run two other maps. Find something that started at a high tier. Say you want to run Carcass and Tower. I don't know why you would, but you want to pick 2 connected maps you can ping pong between and put your favorite slots into. I know a lot of people like Crimson Temple and City Square. That's another big one. This can drop the Apothecary card. Very, very valuable card. It's very, very rare, but it's very valuable. So you can do Crimson Temple, City Square. The Delirium might not be that easy, and you might not get as many stacks confidently, but even if you're getting 5 stacks, and then 6 with the boss, that is perfectly fine. So that is the strategy I used to get my 3 flask Mageblood. Then I farmed Sanctum for a while because I really enjoy Sanctum. I think it's a really fun mechanic, and that is also a very lucrative strategy. I farmed that to get the extra 100 div that I would need to get a Mageblood, but the first 240 div, and not to mention the gear I used, I had to farm, so we're talking maybe 350 divine in the first week and a half to 2 weeks I got from using this strategy. Oh, and one last thing. If you do want to run Harvest, you can. Take the Harvest nodes. Remember, you can click on Harvest. It highlights where all the other Harvest nodes are. You can take some of the important ones, like 50% chance to contain additional Harvest, have a greater chance to contain tier 4 plants. You can take all of those. You can take the points out of these and put them into Harvest if you do not want to buy the Life Force. I think it is very, advantageous to just buy the Life Force, or wait till you could save up a little bit of currency so you can buy the Life Force. But if you want to run Harvest, you can. Take these points out, put them in some Harvest, take the point out of either all of these or at least the Sacred Grove to make sure that the Sacred Grove actually shows up, and you could farm the Harvest yourself. I've just come to believe that it is not worth it. You could also take these points out of the chance for a Conqueror map to drop. I just think that's a great node. They sell for about 30 to 35 gas a pop, so those are an easy sell, so I just kind of threw those in there, but they aren't incredibly important to the strategy. That's why I didn't really mention it. So thank you so much, everyone, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on the channel. I love doing this farming video with no sextants because there's so many. Oh, I make 5 to 6 divines an hour, and then you see these guys. They're like, okay, so I got these 100 maps, and I bought these, 30 compasses and the 600 scarabs, and it's like, oh my god, people don't want to do this. Most people do not do this kind of thing. The vast majority of players are just newer and starting out. I am not the norm. Sure, you're seeing as I was clearing that map, wow, that build looks really cool. I can't clear stuff like that. I'm trash. I can't do it. This is my alt character, and I have over 30, let's see, 24, 33 hours on this, and this is my alt character. I easily probably have 5 to 6 days worth of time on my main character. This is what I do. This is what a lot of us do. I make content, for God's sakes. Of course, I do things faster and a little bit easier than you right now. That's not the point. You can get there, or you can get pretty damn close if you get some currency to really get the gear rolling. Get the gear rolling, you start to learn how builds work. You start to learn how builds work, you realize how to make your build stronger, how to get rid of lower points, how to max your resistance easier, how to do everything better and start to clear faster and just feel like a god, to trivialize the bosses and the maps. So stick with it. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Make sure you follow on twitch.tv/SafeOnTalk. I am streaming all the time, 4 to 5 times a week, and we got a great group of people over there, and I am always happy to answer any question that I can. I am not a POE professor. There are a lot of content creators that know more than me. There are chatters in my chat that know more than me, but either they can answer your question, or if I can help or answer it, I will. So, get followed over there. Again, thanks again for watching, and we will see you next time.